Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, Bante.
Good evening, Ngoti Tamai. Ngoti Tamai, Li Hong Ti Tong, Miss Tong, Miss Tong.
Vanavi Bante.
Good evening, Nguyễn Mạo Quý.
Dạ, Ngài đang cố đọc và cố nhớ tên của tất cả quý vị ạ. Ngài phải đọc tên của chị Ngô Thị Thanh Mai.
Jonna Benya and T Lê Thủy. Miss Tong. Miss Tong, no?
Yes, Bante.
I'm checking my pronunciation. Whether it's correct or not. Miss Tong.
I think it's fine.
Ah.
I can understand.
Okay. The most important is to understand.
Yes.
Đang we Yui. When
Dạ vâng. Xin đang đọc tên của anh Nguyễn Quốc Nam. Nhưng chắc là anh Nam đang không.
Ngọc Bổng Nguyễn Phóng. Oh, it's difficult to pronounce. Cái T Trọng Thị Hoàng Dhamma Vihari easy to pronounce. And Milan Vinti Chok Abduma Dylan Chan Mi Chan. How many students are now? 858. 58. Vivekananda. Tuệ An. Tuệ An. Phúc Trắng. Phúc Trắng. Down. Okay, let's see. Co-interpreter Cook's Tree. Already 7. 7. 7 o'clock.
So, yes, Bante. So I think it's time for Dhamma talk now. So with deep respect, we would like you to teach your Dhamma for the benefits of all beings.
So let's start by chanting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, I share screen. So our lecture will be 1 hour, 1 hour lecture. If you have a question, you can interrupt my lecture. If you have any question, you can raise during my teaching. Okay, last week we stopped at here. No? So this is the introduction to our topics, Dhamma Vinaya for lay people. So today is the January 14, 2026, and the second part, the introduction, second part for Dhamma Vinaya class for lay people. No? So Dhamma Vinaya, the Buddha referred to his teaching as a Dhamma Vinaya many times. That's why the term is very meaningful and very helpful for us to understand. Dhamma Vinaya, what does it mean? Dhamma Vinaya. Dhamma Vinaya cover the whole teachings of the Buddha. This is equivalent with the religion. Nowadays we call the religion the Buddhist religion. The term is equivalent with the Buddhist religion, but it's a very very wide meaning. Dhamma Vinaya. Dhamma Vinaya cover the whole teaching of the Buddha. So when the Buddha was about to take Nibbana, he leave the message for the future generation. So in the future, then you don't need to worry thinking we don't have a Buddha. So you don't need to worry about that. And I already have taught the Dhamma for 45 years. And those will be your teacher in the future. It will be your guide in the future. So you don't need to be worried about that. And so if you take it, the Dhamma as a Dhamma Vinaya, as our teacher, they must have the quality that is very helpful for us. Otherwise, if it is not helpful, we will not take it as our guide. No, if it is not useful, we will not consider it as our guide. So what quality it has, we have to know in the Dhamma and Vinaya, what kind of quality, what kind of good quality that can help us. No? So we have to find those quality. We have to check whether those quality have in the Dhamma Vinaya. So Dhamma Vinaya, it teaches us the way to live happily and harmoniously, Dhamma and Vinaya. So if you analyze these two words, we will see. So if we look through those Dhamma and Vinaya, we will see the way to live happily and harmoniously. So I think everyone like happiness. Do you like happiness or unhappiness? No? So happiness can be, but many people like the happiness, sukha kama, dukkha patikula in the Pali. Everyone like the sukha. Everyone don't like the dukkha. Sukha kama, dukkha patikula. That's a question of what?
Just the answer of the question, like, do you like to be happy or not?
Okay. Sukha kama, dukkha patikula. Everyone like the happiness. That's why they are searching the way how to attain the happiness without knowing the way they search for happiness, but as a result, they get the unhappiness. They look someone for happiness, but later we find unhappiness from those people because we didn't use the right way to attain the happiness. Those happiness. So the way to attain the happiness explained in the Dhamma the right way. No? We are seeking the happiness, but the way is not correct. That is explained in the Dhamma. That's why we can use Dhamma as our teacher, as our guide. Teacher means guide, our guide. And harmoniously, the Vinaya also, the Vinaya, and the Vinaya, they explain many ways to live harmoniously among the community. This is very important. Nowadays we have got many problems because they don't have harmony. They don't live harmoniously among the people. So those are explained in the Dhamma and Vinaya. That's why we should use those Dhamma and Vinaya as our teacher. And among them, we can separate Dhamma and Vinaya. Dhamma, Vinaya. What does Dhamma? The key point of the Dhamma. What does can be found in the Dhamma? That the Dhamma in the Dhamma we can find the truth. The Dhamma explains the truth that discovered and taught by the Buddha. The truth is always exists, but before the Buddha appeared, so the people didn't realize the truth. They didn't realize the truth. When the Buddha appeared, he discovered those truth and guided to the living being through his own experience. That's why we call this is Dhamma. It explains the reality. Dhamma explains the reality. So the reality is the suffering. No? If you want to be free from the suffering and dukkha we call. If you want to be free from the suffering, we have to know what is suffering, what suffering is. So if you don't know the suffering, we cannot avoid. Sometimes we thought the suffering as a happiness, and because we didn't realize we didn't try to escape from the suffering. Later we found this is suffering, but we don't know the cause to liberate from the suffering, dukkha. So if you want to attain the sukha, if you want to attain the happiness, we must remove the suffering. We must remove the suffering. If you don't understand the suffering, if you don't know which one is suffering, so we don't know. Maybe if you don't know for example, the poisonous tree among the group of tree. So because of those poison, many trees are suffering. But you want to remove those poisonous tree. If you don't know those tree, so maybe you may cut the wrong tree. No? The tree that is beneficial, you may cut. In the same way, firstly, we must see what suffering is. After that, the suffering has a cause. No? The suffering has a cause. We have to see the cause, because of this cause. And we see, this is poisonous tree. We have to remove those poisonous tree. The poisonous tree create a suffering, create a danger among this tree. So if you remove those poisonous trees, every trees will be safe. I like this. And then if you remove the suffering, we will get the peace, automatically get the peace. And the path to the peace, how to walk to the peace, to the happiness state of mind. That is play. That's why the Dhamma. So if you summarize that the Dhamma explain the practice that lead to the peace, not only peace, peace must be accompanied with the wisdom. And this is final liberation. The key point, final liberation from the all types of suffering. This is explained in the Dhamma. Vinaya, the key point, and the Vinaya. The Vinaya mostly we may know, you may know the Vinaya is only for the monks. No? Vinaya is the discipline for the monk. The partially true, no? About 70% true is for the monk. But you see, it also principle of moral restraint for all. No? Not only for the monks, we can take the example from those 20 rules, or we can get many ways of living harmoniously among the people. So if we follow some part from those Vinaya, you can feel the heart, you can feel, you know, they want to say the harmonious living style of the people among your friends, your families, your company, your business. We can apply those in many ways. So because this is a display, display every country has a law. The law is like a display. The law, if you obey the law, so if everybody obey the law, that will be a peaceful country. The country will be peaceful. Vinaya is like a law, like the law. If all the bhikkhu obey the Vinaya, if they follow the Vinaya training rules, the Sangha organization is very peaceful. Everyone will be live at the comfort. So in the society also, the display, the rule is very important. If you're working in the company, so you have to, and then you have to obey some of the rules, no? Some of the rules of company. The company has their own rules, their own display. You have to follow. You have to obey those display, because display is to live harmoniously among the people, to work smoothly, to work smoothly, to live harmoniously, to be comfort by everyone who was in the society. The display. The Vinaya is like this. The Vinaya. It also training rule of conduct. We can see training or rule of conduct. We train our body in speech, train guideline for speech and action, livelihood. The Vinaya contains the guideline for speech, how to speak among the people, how to use between the different community, between the different gender, that is play in the Vinaya. How to live lawfully, livelihood, how to earn. If you are the people, you will learn how to do a business legally, how to do a business legally according to the Buddhist way, according to the Dhamma. That way is playing. That's why Dhamma and Vinaya is playing a lot of good things that we can rely on for our better future. That's why we have to accept those Dhamma as our guide, as our teacher. That's when the Buddha did not appoint a person to lead an organization after he passed away. He just guide. At the time of the Buddha, you see, when the Buddha is become old. Devadatta, he said, oh Lord Buddha, please relax. Please relax. I will lead the Sangha. He said, I will do the leader of the Sangha. The Buddha, you can stay relaxed and comfortable. No? At the time, the Buddha say, no? So even I didn't give those authority to the Venerable Sariputta. How can I give you such kind of position to you? No? This is the example. The Buddha didn't give the leadership even to the Venerable Sariputta. Sariputta is the highest knowledge after the Buddha, right? Highest knowledge, morality, and the concentration, panya, the highest after the Buddha. But even to the Venerable Sariputta, the Buddha didn't give those leadership position. So Devadatta asked for this leadership from the Buddha. How can the Buddha give? That's why uh, at the time of near death, the Buddha leave the final message to the future generation. Yo Ananda Maya Dhammocha Vinayocha Desito Pinyato. Yeah, we have see. I have later, Ananda Dhamma Vinaya have been taught and later. Those Dhamma Vinaya will be your teacher after my passing away. Okay, let's see. This is the brief introduction to the term Dhamma Vinaya. Okay, let's see. The key Dhamma is the key point in the Dhamma. Dhamma refer to the Suttanta and Abhidhamma, no? Suttanta and Abhidhamma. The key point is to practice to purify the mind. Purifying the mind. Is this important? No? Purifying the mind is important. Why it is important? What is your opinion? Why do you think to purify the mind is important? Because the dukkha, the suffering, is mostly coming from the mind. When the mind is dirty, there are a lot of suffering. When we say, oh, a lot of suffering, a lot of dukkha I have, you can check how many dukkha, where is it from the mind or body. Whether you actually feel pain in the body, you can check. Do you actually feel the bodily pain, bodily discomfort? You can check. When you say dukkha, I have a lot of suffering, you refer to mostly when you refer to the dukkha, this is just mental suffering, no? Mental suffering. Maybe the real suffering, what you refer to might be only 5%. 5% is real suffering. The suffering you create is 90%. That you create in the mind is about 90, and then 98%. 98% you create the suffering. The suffering, real suffering might be only 2%. 2%. When you get 2%, you create maybe at the company, the boss may shout, the problem finished, but your mind still has suffering the whole day, and that maybe the boss already forgot, but you still love the suffering. You are still enjoying the entertain the suffering. My boss shout me at the company. My boss says something, and that is that make me shame. Or you may think many ways he is good to other, not good. And this way you cannot sleep because you create many suffering. This kind of thought is called dirty mind. Those dirty mind. If you can purify, if you can remove this dirty mind, you will feel the happiness what you like. What you say happiness is to be comfortable, no? To be comfortable. So that's why to purify the mind is very important. We have to remove whatever whatever you feel suffering. So whatever we call I, when you check where is the I, it's just changing process of mind and matter. We saw I or all. What we saw I, what we call I, already changing nature of mind and matter. So those during the changing nature, if you can let it go, those according to its nature, those kind of problem, those kind of suffering, this kind of dukkha already removed. That's why when you focus, this is changing nature, when you focus, changing nature of the mind. So you are suffering will be disappear. That's a purification of the mind is a very important. So it explains the Dhamma, Dhamma, the Sutta and Abhidhamma, no? Sutta and Abhidhamma. These two Pitaka explain a lot how to purify the mind. The key point is to purify the mind, but we are learning a lot to purify the mind. Sometimes we know the way, but cannot use the way, cannot apply, because we are used to define our mind. Or even sometimes we learn today, or we know the way to purify. I will purify next time. But when the times come, you forgot because your habit of living with the wrong way of purification, maybe with the defilements. With the defilements become your friends, our friends. No? Defilements, lobha, dosa, moha, attachments, anger, hatred, delusion, that dissatisfaction, displeasure, they are our friend, becomes our friend. That friend is a bad friend, not a good friends. The bad friend we think the bad friend as a good friend. So we become very strong relationship with the bad friend. That's why we cannot give up easily. If you cannot give up those bad friends, you will get the suffering all the time. That's why to purify the mind is very important. And Vinaya, focus on to live, to be pure in bodily and private action. So to live pure in bodily and privately. Vinaya, not focus on them, not focus to purify the mind, but focus to live blameless, to do blameless action, to speak blameless speech, and to live harmoniously in daily life. So mostly very useful among the community. This point is very useful. So Dhamma mostly focus your own happiness. Vinaya focus to be harmonious in daily life. So it explains how to conduct, no, how to do physical action properly, private action properly. That is play. So these two are very important. The Vinaya. So if the Vinaya, if we don't follow the Vinaya, the purity of mind also difficult to be obtained. Vinaya. That's why here I give the example. Where is it? Yeah, no? Dhamma and Vinaya. They are always together. They are supporting each other. They should be always together. So why they are together? The Buddha also used this term together many times. If you search this word in the Tipitaka application, you can see many times, maybe over 500 times, you can see this word in the application. Yeah, the comparison. The comparison, Dhamma, so upper structure, and Vinaya is foundation. So if you have a building, the building has foundation and the building and foundation, upper structure and the foundation. So if foundation is very weak, the building can be collapsed by the small earthquake. No? By a small earthquake, the buildings can be collapsed if the foundation is not strong enough. So Vinaya is like a foundation. The foundation. If you want to, the if you have the aim to build a very high building, you need to have deeper and stronger foundation. So according to your aim, the foundation also important. Second example is the GPS and the rules or road, traffic law, for example, traffic law and the maps. So when you are going to somewhere, you use that GPS nowadays, right? GPS guide you the right way. And Vinaya is like a traffic law. If you want to get to the destination, you use the map and you drive a car. But if you didn't obey the traffic law, it will be dangerous, right? It will be dangerous. That's why you can compare this foundation and upper structure building or the rules of the map and the traffic law. If you follow the traffic laws and use the GPS, finally you will arrive safely to the destination. Otherwise, you will be a lot of problem on the roads if you don't have a rules or law. Vinaya. That's why, no? So that's why we need to know this two the purpose of these two terms, Dhamma and Vinaya. And and then Dhamma and Vinaya is your teacher. That means no person is to be will save you from the suffering. So we can imagine we are surrounded by many types of suffering. We are living in the suffering. Suffering, dukkha. Dukkha in Pali term, I think everyone already know the term dukkha, right? Dukkha, we are surrounded by different types of dukkha. Mrs. Tong, do you have dukkha? Uh, can you check in each day in the daily life? Dukkha is more or sukha is more in your daily life? How do you think? Physical dukkha and mental dukkha. Firstly, physical dukkha. You can check yourself. Physical dukkha. How many dukkha? Which one has more percentage? Uh, dukkha and sukha. And mental dukkha. You can check which one is more. And then sankhara dukkha. Every second, we have sankhara dukkha. What is sankhara dukkha? What is sankhara? Sankhara dukkha. Sankhara dukkha, the changing nature of the body. That's why, and the Apamadina Sambhadita, last week I translate the last word of the Buddha. Everything is changing every time. Changing is a suffering. But if it is sukha, it must be alive, no? It must be permanent if it's a sukha. But when we say sukha, it's already changed, it's already changing. Sankhara dukkha is all the time. So we are surrounded by this. We are overwhelmed by this dukkha every times. And no one can save you. But only the Dhamma can save you. No? The Dhamma is the savior. Dhamma is savior. No? This is a little bit higher teaching. No? Dhamma is savior. We are learning the Dhamma. We are learning the way to save ourselves. No? We are learning now. You are learning the Dhamma. You are learning the Dhamma means you are learning the way to save ourselves. After that, you practice the Dhamma. When you practice, that means you are saving yourself from the dukkha. You are trekking out of the dukkha. So now we are finding the way how to trek ourselves out of the dukkha. But when after learning, you practice. When you practice, that means we are now trekking ourselves out of the dukkha. Later, you will achieve a kind of relief after practicing the Dhamma. That means we already safe. And you can use this from any aspect, from the Lokiya Sukha, Lokodara Sukha, Jhana Sukha, and daily life Sukha. We are daily life Sukha, the Manusa Sukha, Deva Sukha, Nibbana Sukha. Nibbana Sukha is the final goal. The final goal of every Buddhist is Nibbana Sukha. Before we reach Nibbana Sukha, we need to be with the Manusa Sukha. Or if you are born in the Deva, you need to have Deva Sukha. So yeah, it's the way it's explained, the right way to live happily and as a human being, also explained in the Dhamma Vinaya, no? Dhamma Vinaya. So we are learning, that means we are learning the Dhamma, means we are learning the way to trek out of the suffering. Okay, let's see how they are connected, Dhamma and Vinaya. The Pali, the reference Pali, you may not be familiar with the Pali. Vinaya Samvaratthaya. I provided English translation. Vinaya Samvaratthaya. Vinaya is we translate display. Samvaratthaya, for the sake of restraint. What is the useful? So why we learn the Vinaya? Vinaya is to restrain ourselves, to restrain ourselves, to control our body and speech. Body and speech, this is called restraint samvara. Restrain means to control body and speech. Why is it necessary to control body and speech? Restrain for the sake of non-remorse. Remorse. What is a remorse? Remorse is the kind of sadness, thinking about the past. We feel remorse, that means we regret thinking about the past. So we have done the past, in the past, we have done something wrong, thinking our action, thinking about our action, we feel regret, we feel remorse. When you feel remorse, it is sukha or dukkha. Huh? When you feel remorse, it's a dukkha. There are only two, sukha and dukkha. When you feel remorse, you will not be happy. The face always like always cloudy. The face always cloudy when you remorse. No, now when I look at your face, you're smiling and no remorse. No? Because you have a lot of display, Vinaya, no remorse, and something thinking maybe you don't have done something good. Now, after that, thinking about that, so you feel regret. This also remorse. But if you obey the Vinaya, if you obey the discipline, you didn't get such kind of remorse. That's why the Vinaya support the non-remorse, because of obeying the discipline, you didn't feel remorse. And the company also, right, if you don't obey the rules of company, you might get scolded, you might get blamed, When you get the blame, you might feel remorse, you might feel unhappy, unhappy. The non-remorse is very important. The first steps to feel happiness is non-remorse. Non-remorse. And non-remorse, what is useful for non-remorse? It is for the sake of gladness. Gladness in the Pali, pamoksha, gladness. Your mind is glad. This is a type of sukha. Gladness of sukha. The low intensity of the sukha, the low degree of the sukha is gladness. Gladness. So you feel gladness inside your mind. And the gladness is for the sake of joy. This is second degree of the sukha. Joy. Joy, second degree of the sukha. And sukha is a piti. Piti pasadatthaya. Joy is for the sake of tranquility. Tranquility here refer to the peaceful state of peaceful condition. The peaceful condition is called tranquility. This is pasati in the Pali term. Pasati. The peace. This is so you can compare gladness, joy, and peace, tranquility. The peace. This is a type of peaceful, a types of sukha. There's some degree of the sukha. And then pasati sukhataya. Tranquility is useful for the sake of happiness. For the sake of happiness. This is what you wish, right? Happiness. Happiness for the sake of concentration. Concentration is samadhi, samadhatthaya. Concentration. The Vinaya is the first step to reach this one. Vinaya, and this one we call the Dhamma. Dhamma explain those. Vinaya explain this line. Vinaya explain, display. Because of Vinaya, you get this quality. This quality, what we call sukha, is this quality, not the materials. Sometimes you think the happiness is material, or you work very hard to get a lot of materials. A lot of material you collect, a lot of material you store a lot of materials. But if you don't have this kind of quality, the material is nothing. Just material might be your enemy, no? Enemy, or because of material, you worry your house. When you leave your house, you worry, oh, it is safe or not. If someone broke into my house, what happened? Before you keep the material in your house, you go very freely. But after you have collected a lot of material, you thinking about your materiality, you feel worried. So you cannot go freely. When you go, you always thinking about your material, your family. You you have collected a lot of family member. Or if I have a lot of family member, I will be happy. But if you have a lot of family member later, you feel worried about the children, about the father, mother, about the brother, sister. If you have this is not real happiness, not sukha. Sukha, this quality is a sukha. What you call sukha is this quality. The lokiya sukha, the worldly happiness is this quality. We are trying to attain this quality. This quality also is play in the Dhamma. So you can get, so if you want to get more high quality sukha, concentration for the sake of knowledge and vision of things as they really are. This is it. Vipassana. Vipassana sukha. Vipassana, you see the mind and matter really as they really are me. The real thing is only mind and matter. Nama and Rupa in Bali term, the reality is only Nama and Rupa. As long as you didn't practice Vipassana meditation, you didn't see this reality. This is, so to attain those kind of Vipassana Sukha, to see the true nature of mind and matter, we need to have concentration. So that's why, and the Vipassana process, the Sila, Visuddhi, Citta Visuddhi, so and then some of you already learned. Sila Visuddhi, Citta Visuddhi, you have to start from the Sila. If you want to practice Vipassana, you have to purify your morality first by following the discipline, Sila, and then second step, Samadhi, Sila Visuddhi, Citta Visuddhi, like this. So through this Sila, we got no remorse, gladness, joy, tranquility, happiness. Happiness support the concentration. Concentration is also very important. If you don't have concentration, you cannot succeed even in the worldly life and the company you are working. If you don't have, maybe you are, how to say this, in the company, maybe you are accountant, you have to record the daily expenditure, no? Maybe if you don't have concentration, maybe you might add more number to pay, maybe $100, and maybe you may add one more zero, that becomes $1,000. You have to, maybe your worker see, oh, I have to pay $1,000. And you lost a lot of profits because lack of concentration. The concentration is very helpful, and the Lokiya, Lakodra, that's why Samadhi. So if you don't have this quality, happiness, sukha, the comfortability of the body and mind, that this will support the concentration. Based on this concentration, you can practice vipassana. And this way, I will not explain this more detail. And later in the higher level, you will be learn this one. we will be learning. And the knowledge and vision of them is for the sake of detachment. If you see mind and metta truly are, you see all rising and disappearing, rising and disappearing. They are always dying. Our body is always dying. Every second we are dead. We are dead. And you become disenchanted because what we call I is a mind and metta. Those mind and metta are dying those mind and metta are dead every second. So when we see second, you become disenchanted. You see this with the vipassana knowledge. This disenchantment is for the sake of dispassion. And then Adinawa Nibbida, no? Adina, you see the fall, and then you are dissatisfaction with your mind and matter. And this passion is for the sake of liberation. You want to liberate. You want to liberate from those sankhara, those nature, and then liberation for the sake of vision of liberation. Yeah, vimutti jnana dasanataya. Vimutti is liberated. You liberated. That means you attain the Mecca, and then you have the knowledge of those jnana, javakana. You can reflect after you attain the Mecca. And knowledge and vision liberation for the sake of final nibbana without clinging, and you attain the real peace. It is a Vinaya and Dhamma and Vinaya, how they are working together, how they are related. They are the gradual, step by step, the step by step course, the step by step course, the step by step course to attain the happiness, to attain the higher degree happiness, the step-by-step course. So if you follow this way, you are on the right path. You will get the real happiness, real sukha, not the fake sukha. Nowadays, what we call sukha is just fake sukha. So fake sukha, this sukha will be ended with the dukkha. Whatever you see to sukha, that will be ended in dukkha. So you can imagine around yourself, I feel sukha with the people, with the material. Finally, they will leave you or you will leave them. In one way, you will leave them. At the time, your sukha is ended with the dukkha. Okay, this is how they are connected. Now, the most important in the teaching, is sattva, viriya, sati, ekaggata, panya. We call four sound spiritual faculties. They can help us. Those qualities help us to attain the higher mental development, because the mind is more important. To get the happiness, to attain the peace, the mind is more important. Those qualities help us a lot to attain the mental development. The first one is faith, saddha, faith. Here we are Buddhist people. We must believe the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha. The faith is very important. If we don't have saddha, so you can imagine what will be the next. If you don't trust the people, for example, you have two people, you trust him or you trust her. When you trust her, you will follow whatever she advises you, or you will keep your valuable property with them. You will listen carefully what he suggests. You will listen carefully what he advised. That's why saddha. So if you have a saddha in the Buddha, so you will listen carefully, whatever the Buddha taught. Or if you have saddha, if you have trust in the Buddha's teaching, so in the Dhamma, you will follow exactly as guideline, even though at the present moment you cannot feel the result, but you trust and then you practice. You trust, and then if you trust, you will practice his guideline. You will practice his guide. That's why saddha. And then after saddha alone, just trust is not enough. We have to work. Viriya is energy. This is, we have to actively work. We have to work to attain what we wish. Saddha, and then the faith, belief, trust, and viriya, the energy. This is, we have to work. We have to work. And mindfulness, the faith and work. You have a faith and you are working, but we should have mindfulness. Mindfulness is attention. We should pay attention to whatever we are doing. So we trust the Buddha and we working according to the Buddha's guideline, and we need to pay attention. So if you are working in the company and you have faith in the company you are working, and you must pay attention to your work, to your work. Pay attention. Ekagata, concentration. The concentration also very important. If you cannot concentrate your mind, as I told you, you will do you will work, you will do the job untidily. Maybe there may be many mistakes in your work. And penya, the last quality, penya, is a very important. And the Buddhists emphasize the penya. So your belief must be with the penya, not blind belief, not blind saddha. That's why saddha and penya must be balanced. Saddha. So without saddha, also penya can be, because you can imagine you have very sharp knowledge, very sharp penya, but if you don't have a trust in the people, you will not listen. I have more penya. So maybe you have a teacher, you are learning from him, but if you think you are say, I have more knowledge, and I don't trust that teacher, so you will not follow. Or you have a saddha and you don't have penya. Then also you have a teacher or you have a guide, but you believe him. But if you trust him blindly, without the penya, sometimes you will be deceased. You will be cheated. You will be cheated. Because if you cannot consider with the penya, that's why this point, these 5 qualities are very important for the mental developments. So saddha and penya must be balanced. Viriya and concentration. Viriya, concentration. They also must be balanced. Too much viriya without concentration will be, you will done a lot of mistake. You have done a lot of work, but no concentration. You have done in the work. You have done a lot of mistake in the work. You have concentration a lot. You have concentration a lot, but lack of energy, lack of activity. You will fall asleep in the company. No? In the company, you will fall asleep. That's when viriya and ekagata, they must be balanced. Saddha and penya, they must be balanced. The faith Number one, the feet is very important in the Buddhism. Number two, the feet must be with the Panya. So next week we will study these two, Satta, the feet, and Panya. Satta and Panya. So our introduction to the theme of the main course. Second part will be finished today. If you summarize the Vinaya and Dhamma and Vinaya, these two are a complete teaching of the Buddha. So that your duty is to practice, Our duty is to study, to practice, to study the Dhamma and to practice according to the Dhamma. This is our duty. And then Dhamma mostly train our mind. Yeah, we can see Dhamma trains our mind. Vinaya trains our behavior. Dhamma and Vinaya. Vinaya trains our behavior. Dhamma trains our mind. So these two will be the foundation to attain mental developments. So that's why as we use the last word of the Buddha, Appamadina Sampadita. What does it mean? Everything is changing. Be mindful. Be mindful. If you want to be happy, be mindful. If you don't want to be happy, don't be mindful. If you want to get a happy life, be mindful. Okay, that's all for today. Now we have got 1 hour.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you so
Okay,
much for
let's chant. Okay, let's chant this word. Okay. Ittavadacha amihi sambadam punya sambadam Sabi deva numodantu sabha sambati siddhiya Idame punya nibbana sabhajiyo hotu Idame punya bhagan sabha sattanam bhajimi Sabi satta avira hontu Sabi satta abhyabhaja hontu Sabi satta aniga hontu Sabe Saddha Sukhi Addanam Pariharantu Sabe Saddha Dukkha Muchantu Sabe Saddha Yathalada Sampatito Mavikachantu Sabe Saddha Kamasaka
Sadhu,
Sadhu.
sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Welcome.
Thank you so much, Sayadaw.
Thank you, Sayadaw.
Come. See you
Thank you
next
so
week.
much, Sayadaw Phaya.
Sekarang okay.
Thank you so much, Sayadaw.
Yeah, come see you next week.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw.
Sadhu.